What's going on there? What's going on?
Going on?
Live.
What's cracking, everyone? We've got a lot of
member.
people in the chat already. We're missing Trey. We're missing, some of the familiar faces, but we got, the most beautiful group.
what was Matt just doing? What the hell?
Matt, what are you doing, Matt?
Is this thing on? Is this thing on?
Hello? Anybody
Can you hear
home?
me?
What is up?
What's
everyone?
cracking, Matt? How are you, brother?
I'm good. So
Yeah. Right. Thanks for coming on, man.
yeah, man. I'm trying to be as creepy as possible. Is it working?
Yeah,
''Tis the
that
season, right? We got
mustache is
Halloween
really
right
going
now.
for you, bro.
Yeah, that's right.
Increase the creep factor.
Checking out my gout stash. There is a fuzzy caterpillar. So just to clear the air as to why I have this ridiculous thing on my face, I am preparing for No Shave November. You guys
There we
familiar
go.
with that?
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
So I'm going to get a little jump start on it. So maybe I will look presentable towards the end. But at the end of No Shave November, this is going away. And we're going to try to raise some money over on Gone Diggin for cancer awareness and prevention and all of that good stuff. So
there we go.
Nice.
Good cause.
I'm doing No Shave November too, but I'm doing it on my chops.
Right. Every day's No Shave November when I have nothing else to grow but facial hair.
yeah, I think that you should just at the end of November, dude, we can do it as a
A
huge
clean face.
Yep.
Oh, you look
Clean,
like you're
clean.
10 years old, bro.
That's the way
I
I
look
would
like Lord Voldemort from Harry Potter, man. Full shave. But I'd consider it. I haven't shaved my face fully shaved my face probably in 6 to 7 years. So yeah, we do the November
bad bleed out.
Right. Should use a really blunt straight razor, just make it painful.
Matt, you remember when I used to do my show on Facebook full time? I had that beard. It was like down to here, dude. I had a huge beard, man.
That's good. Yeah, you can't have too much facial hair until you do, and that's when it's time to go.
Yeah.
I used to have it down fully, a big one, and then work said no, and I said, okay, fair enough. It's not as presentable at that
I
point.
just thought I'd clear it all out and
Yeah.
let everybody know what kind of weirdo I'm being right now. So
No, listen, for a good cause, it's worth looking weird, but I like it, man. I like the stash. I think it adds a little flair there, so a little panache.
the fireman mustache is as creepy as anybody could ever have.
Right, there you go.
Matt does all kinds of good stuff though. Like Matt's always trying to give back to the community, and that's one of the biggest things that when I started talking to Matt, that I've always admired about him is his dedication to the metal detecting community. And Matt, you do an awesome job, man.
Thanks,
Yeah,
man. Thanks. Yeah, we'll be doing. I'm gonna try to do this for the month of November, and we'll make a whole video about it. But I'm also hopefully again we'll be going to the Florida Hunt 6 in February. And that's the Camp Freedom. They do a lot of stuff with disabled veterans, PTSD, and therapeutic horseback riding, camping, fishing, all that stuff. So we'll be trying to raise some more money for them. Last year we raised them an extra $100 plus our entry fee. This year we're going to try to make it a little more. Maybe we can get to $400, $500. Who knows?
Absolutely. Well, when you get that going, share it out, and we'll make sure we push the message as well.
Right on, man. And if you guys are interested, Florida Hunt 6 is at Camp Freedom. Really cool place.
There we go. So what's that about exactly?
So it's down just north of Gainesville in Florida.
Okay.
Big tract of land, about 300 acres. Some cool stuff found on it. Some Seminole War stuff.
Yeah.
Some nice Spanish coins, some early large cents for Florida. And it's good stuff, man. You guys have to check it out.
Yeah.
Type in Florida Hunt 7. It'll be up. You need to be invited to it, but if you guys let me know when you want to go, it's super cheap, 2 days, $75, and great people.
That's awesome. I'm sure
Definitely
plenty of
awesome.
people will be itching to get down to that Florida warmth in February too, you know?
Yeah, no doubt. It's great, man. I did 5 days last year down in Florida.
Yeah.
A bunch of hanging out on the beach and metal detecting and stuff like that. So it was really good.
That's awesome. Now, did you do any diving while you were down there last time?
I did. I ended up with got one dive in a Florida spring. We had a lot of fun doing that. Completely did that rogue.
Yeah.
Florida Springs, you got to have a certification to go in, and that time I was not certified, so I just said, screw it. Don't ask, don't tell.
Easier to ask forgiveness than permission, right?
Yep. Yeah, it was a great dive. We
I
had a
don't
lot of
know.
fun.
I don't know.
Didn't want to
You
get
can-
my partner who was with me in trouble, but we ended up having a really nice time.
That's good. That's all you can ask for, man. And seems like you've had you've been in the water pretty much all summer. Is that right?
Yeah, man. Here in Virginia, kind of like you guys, it gets hot, and I can handle the heat. I used to be really okay with digging in the hot, but once I learned about digging in the water, that's out the window.
Yeah.
And as crazy as it sounds, I would dig in the water year round if I had the ability to. There's so much stuff. It's an untapped resource. It's not difficult. I mean, it's difficult to do, but to find the permissions and do the research is a little easier.
Yeah.
It just takes a little more money. You got to have a boat, got to have some resources available to you. But it was fun.
Yeah, no, I mean, it looks like you guys killed it all summer. And, I know you posted a couple of videos recently and you're saying that, you didn't even get to do as much detecting as you wanted to in the water versus, actually, doing fossil hunting and shark tooth recovery, stuff like that. Now, obviously you've been doing that for a while, but was this year that much more of a focus for you?
The focus this year wasn't really about the shark's tooth stuff.
Mhm.
A lot of the times I'll go to places that are fossils are intermixed with colonial period relics. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
This year was very difficult for me from a aspect of mechanically on my boat, broke a boat, had to replace a motor, doing a bunch of other stuff. And we had a big period of rain in August, which just generally doesn't happen. And so that really set us back. But next year's going to be good. I'm really looking forward to it. There's a lot of cool stuff on the horizon, a lot of cool adventures to go and do. And I'm hopefully, if things work out well, I'll have a dry suit sometime this winter, and I'll be diving all winter long.
That's awesome. That's
very
awesome.
awesome.
So when does that so dry suit aside, when would your season start for water hunting, for anything at that point?
So believe it or not, we were in the water January 1st last year.
And
The water temperature was 36 degrees.
No,
Wow.
thank you.
But we use waders, we use wetsuits under our waders. So
Yeah.
if for some reason your waders get some water in them, you're not getting soaking wet. The wetsuits are keeping you warm as well.
yeah,
But we found stuff January 1st.
that's awesome.
That's a little extreme for most people.
Yeah.
Realistically, it starts April, end of April. The waters will start warming up. May, you'll be able to get your first scuba diving trip in. And then like this year, the water got cold quick. So September 25th was my last dive
Okay.
here in Virginia.
Yeah.
So it's a big long time period. But by that time in Virginia, by the end of May, you can't get in the fields because they're all planted.
True.
You
True.
know.
Yeah, we're really, thank God for neoprene, right? Across the board, that stuff is a godsend. But we are really subject to the seasonality of this hobby. you got to contend with weather. You got to contend with permission finding, and that's a lot of legwork within itself. And then you have to contend with, particularly if you're farm hunting, the crop cycle at that point. And we were talking earlier, and it's like you're itching to get on those fields, just harvest them,
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. And that's what I live for. I love the farm fields and stuff like that. A lot of the big camps and stuff like I like to hunt are in farm fields, and based off the crop rotation and what's going on. The fields may be in corn, but then they go straight to winter wheat, so you can't hunt that field for 2 years.
Yeah.
But if you have soybeans, you have a whole winter to hunt that. So you got to really make the best of it. I do hunt in the woods, but I have deer season, and here in Virginia, it's a long season, so I'm not a fan of being shot at or thinking I'm a deer. I don't know how you would.
Yeah, no, bow season is always a little extra cautious.
Yeah, man.
I'd rather catch a bullet than an arrow. That broadhead, that's for damn sure. Oh man, but yeah, there's a lot to contend with and get out there. But the nice thing, I guess, for you, and we don't get to do not that we don't get to, we just haven't really unintended dove into it. But you get that extra added water aspect, and it's no harvest there, and that seems to be from all the people we talked to a relatively replenishing source of finds, right? I mean, you can continuously hit a spot and the tide will bring in different stuff after a storm, or what's that like?
Well, I mean, when you're talking historical artifacts, it's much different than, say, you're hunting a beach,
right,
or a tourist thing like that. Historical artifacts in the water are no different than historical water artifacts on the land.
Yeah.
You don't just once you pick that up, you don't get to find another one of them. So that's really kind of a big deal. But the difference is the difficulty of recovering artifacts in the water.
Yeah.
So the harder it is to get, the longer you have, to hunt that site because of the difficulty of recovery. So, we have places that we hunt for years and years and years, just like you have places you'll hunt for years because it's a house site and there's a lot of iron or whatever. But, it's just kind of one of those things.
Now, speaking of historical artifacts and stuff like that, you seem to find a decent amount of Spanish silver in the water, right? Or I guess, well, more than I've ever found, period. But are you finding skewed towards that kind of the Spanish silver and stuff like that is much more prevalent in the water, would you say, than what you found hunting the ground by you?
Yeah, absolutely. Because you have to remember that the places that we hunt are places of commerce. So they're wharfs, they're taverns, they're docks, they're piers, and that's where commerce happened in earlier colonial period times. Think about the best silver you've ever found. What was that related to? My guess, it was either some sort of tavern or some sort of bar or hotel. Those are the best sites for coins, So any place of commerce is going to be better for Spanish. I specifically went out twice this year to find some Spanish coins, and one day I found 5, and the other day I found 3.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
So, and if you guys pay attention, if you've seen the videos of over the summer, Ralph found 28 cut Spanish this year.
Oh, crap.
That's wild. Yeah.
That's insane.
In the water. So it's kind of, that's kind of how it goes,
That's with metal detectors, or were you guys eyeballing these, a lot of them, or you're using your detectors?
All with machines.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You guys don't take full machines. You take pinpointers, or no?
No. These are hunting. This is shallow water. What we consider shallow water.
Oh, okay.
Chest deep, or shallower.
Okay. That's cool. So, when it comes to researching this stuff, do you find it's easier just because obviously those were places of commerce at that point, and so they, they're that much more identifiable, or is it, a challenge to find exactly where a wharf or, a dock used to be?
It's some places are sore thumbs. My one place I went and I found my 5 silvers this summer
Mhm.
Just it was obvious, and it was
Yeah.
unbelievable that nobody had been there before me. And that's not the total volume. So I found 5 silvers that day. I think we found 25 out of that site so far.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Um,
Yeah. Ugh.
So including my first cob, I found my first cob in there.
That's what I was gonna say. I saw you talking about that, and you didn't get that on film, right?
I didn't
No.
because sometimes. So I'm a mental health kind of guy, kind of like
yeah.
anybody else. It's just nice to go and not worry about if your camera's working or did I get that. But this site is so obvious. I can't risk giving it away.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
No, absolutely. And I mean, that's something that we worry about is even, we went out with Eric the one time and the field, right? And you saw someone else try and get onto the field there. And it's I mean, obviously you hope that people respect that kind of stuff, but there's always someone who's trying to figure out where that is, especially, when someone with a channel like yours, Matt, you got a decent amount of eyeballs on there. There's people definitely looking to kind of sneak in and scoop that out. And it's a shame, but it's an unfortunate reality of the hobby, right?
Well, and nobody owns the waterways in Virginia
Yeah.
except for the state. So, you can claim right to your spot, but
It's fair game.
it's just, sometimes I feel like I do a disservice because I want to show things and I want to be more visible, but it's just not for me. In some of our spots, that's just the way it is, and we have to be. And the people who watch the channel, I hope you you understand that, and you recognize that I don't do it because I don't want to show you where I'm at. Just I do it because I can't show you where I'm at.
Yeah, you got to preserve the integrity of your spots, and you did the legwork, you did the getting in the water, whether it may be 36 degrees or warmer, it's still putting in the effort there. And some people
Many times
I've
I've held the camera.
That's right. It's
up.
no different than Eric's site. That's one of the biggest pet peeves I have. I've had some land sites that people told me that you can come and hunt, but you have to do it at night. Because if someone sees you out there, they're going to knock on their door and just ruin it.
Yeah. Did you take them up on that? Did you do the night hunt?
Oh yeah. I hunted every night I could.
That's great. So that's something I haven't done. I don't know about Eric or Joe. Have you guys hunted at nighttime at all?
No, not at all.
That's got to be cool. I mean, I get in my own element with just, effectively, the headphones canceling out most of the outside noise, but in the dark with a headlamp on, I think that'd be pretty therapeutic within itself.
So, and it was cool. It's cool. It's a really cool experience. This place, the way this place was is because so many people had trespassed in the middle of the field where they couldn't be seen by the headlights. You would hunt up against the road, and the road was like had never been hunted. Obviously, there was some aluminum foil and stuff like that, but we did have the police stop us one night and ask us what we were doing. And the guy who owns the land said, "Nothing. What are you doing?" And they tried to ask for our IDs and all this stuff. And he said, "Well, I'm going to ask for your ID, and then I'm going to ask you to leave, get off my property." And this guy was like, I was like, he was aggressive towards him, like,
right.
Get off my property.
Dang, yeah. And, I mean, listen, I guess if I'm driving by and people got headlamps in someone's yard, I mean, you either assume it's A, very kosher with the landowner, or very not. I feel like there's no middle ground there,
Right. And his first thing was, "Oh, well, I appreciate you stopping, but I own this land and we're okay to be out here." And then they started being more aggressive to it. And then he just went next level. I was like, "I'm just gonna go over. I'm going over here."
This is not my land. This is not something. You know what? Yeah, that's tough. But yeah, I don't know. I think it would be cool to get out there at night. I definitely, for any excuse for me to extend a hunt, right? Maybe I take a little nap from 7 to 10, and then get back out there, and just keep hunting. Especially when you're on a hot streak and you don't want to stop. That's got to be I got to get like a backpack with it.
And the other cool part about it, there's a little mystery to what you find because you can't actually see it.
That's true.
One of my buddies had thrown a bloodletting tool. It was a Civil War tool that they would bleed you because they thought your blood had disease in it.
Yeah.
He had thrown it in his junk pile in the back of his truck, and the next morning I was like, "Whoa, dude, that's a killer relic."
Dang, yeah. And
what are you doing?
I mean, it's easy to do that even nighttime, you know, like there's so much stuff and you know, we've been in the hobby for a little bit and there's plenty of people who've been doing it for almost a lifetime at this point, and there's so much tribal knowledge and stuff that I don't know that someone else would know and pick up on. But a lot of that trash, you're like, all right, let me just throw it in the bag. It's not a coin, it's not a clear cut relic, it's not, you know, whatever it may be. And you know, I always wonder, as like the earlier days of my detecting, what did I just throw in my scrap bag, you know? Or even like the key dates on like wheat pennies and stuff like that. It's like I sometimes get lost in the sauce, I think, and trying to find the next like awesome find and forget to appreciate some of the minor details that could be big finds within itself. But I don't know. Do you find that with you just trying to figure out a lot of the stuff, or have you hunted long enough to be able to ID a lot more than?
So I'm a human sponge of unidentifiable, non-significant pieces of metal. Somebody posted on ID me today. So I think I got the second response on it, but it was a cut pine tree shilling off of a little piece of a coin. And I was like, dude, that's not a cut Spanish, that's a pine tree.
That's
so
just cool.
I think when you're you're invested in what you do and you like what you do. I don't like it. I love doing this.
Yeah.
That stuff kind of comes naturally. But I think what we tend to forget is that the journey is 9/10 of it, right?
Yeah.
Like the journey of how you got there. Like I started my channel as a metal detecting channel, and I don't really feel like that's what I do anymore. I feel like I'm an adventure channel.
Yeah.
I want to like go on an adventure and explore, and I want to bring you something new or something different, although that doesn't appeal to the masses. And that's the goal of what I want my channel to be. But it's one of those things that the journey to get to the find is where it's at, and I think we get lost in the find of, oh, it's a Wheatie. Well, maybe it is a key date Wheatie, or maybe it's that 1953 Wheatie that you've dug 15 of them.
Yeah.
It's part of the journey to get to there.
Oh, absolutely. It's the car ride to the spot with your buddies. It's meeting up in the morning, grabbing coffee and going. It's getting out there and speculating on what you're going to find. It's the intangibles of the hobby that I think, we forget, right? And like you said, sometimes there's days where you just need to get out there and not film anything and just hunt for the pure sake of this. You're passionate about it. You want it, And I think everyone, you got to check yourself a little bit here and there and make sure that you stop and smell the rose. But man, I'd love to find a slice of a pine tree shilling any day.
Me too, man. Me too.
Gosh. Now with the cob though, even the cob, I mean, I know, Eric, Jerry found one, right?
Yeah, my brother found one.
Yeah. So, I mean, what was going through your head, Matt, when you found that? Was that, did you know right away, or was it something you took a second or two, or did it hit you and it was just like, holy smokes?
I knew it's a half real cob. And I knew because I've watched 7-8 other people dig them in front of me.
Oh,
So I knew it's like a trime. I've never dug a trime. I've watched 5 trimes come out in front of me.
It's crazy. Those different ones,
Yeah, and it's just one of those things. You don't know why you can't swing your coil over that.
That was me at one of the farm fields we've been hunting, and everyone's pulling out Jersey copper after Jersey copper after Jersey copper. Trey, who's not from New Jersey, finds 2 Jersey coppers, and I'm like, man, as a Jersey native, that's all I want. And when I finally did, it was like retribution. I was so hyped. I think it makes it that much more fun when it haunts you for a while, right? It makes the victory that much sweeter. I'm finding it. Yeah, I gotta get me a cob too, and a pine. Just hopefully I'll get those on the next hunt. And so you haven't found a trime yet, though, correct?
No trime.
No, have I. Trey's not even here to make fun of him for breaking his.
Yeah, Trey definitely found a trime in front of us. That was bad news for him.
Oh man.
It's yeah, it's just one of those things, man. I think the guys in the water found 5 or 6 trimes in the water in places I've been hunting with them. Ralph found a bunch of trimes. It'll come, it's nothing to get frustrated over. it'll happen. You know, I got reminded to yesterday. A guy I know, he's been hunting for 30 plus years, just found his first gold coin. I got lucky to be digging for less than 8 years and found a $5 gold piece.
In the river?
No, that was actually on a land site. 1881 $5, beautiful coin.
Wow.
Stoked to have it, and I've never thought I'd find one.
Yeah, no, and you know what? I think you don't want to peak too early, if you will. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to get out there and find so much in such a short period of time. You know, we're all hopefully going to be out there detecting for the near foreseeable future, decades. You know, and yes, you want to find those, but you also don't want to check too many things off the bucket list too soon, right? It keeps you invested in.
Nah, I'd take a gold coin any day of the week. I don't give a shit.
Right.
I'm sorry. It's no way I'm going to be like, just wait 30 years to get that gold coin. No, sir. If it happens, I'm ready. You know, I'm ready.
Yeah, I'll take it. At this point, I'll take it, you know. But I don't know. I feel like if I found a gold coin on my third time out detecting, you know, it's just what else? I mean, there's a lot else to chase down. Don't get it wrong, but it's like you don't want, or a GW button like off the bat. Like you see the people, it's like, hey, I dug this. What is this? And it's like, oh man, you know, it's even like putting in the time to be able to appreciate it that much more. And I'm not saying anyone doesn't deserve it, because if anyone finds a GW button, that's yours, phenomenal, right? But you know, it's that much more special when you've put in a lot of hours to make it happen.
I've seen a couple of them come out lately. GW.
Yeah, me too.
So I'll tell you, like, this is my metal detecting origin story. So I lived in Yellowstone National Park for 6 years. Towards the end, I'd always wanted to metal detect, blah, blah, blah. I started watching tons of YouTube videos, DIV videos, Saving History with Greg Toney. I was watching a little bit of Nugget Noggin. I was watching Aqua Chigger. You know, just when there weren't a lot of channels out there. Mm-hmm. And got an E-Track as my first machine. Called my mom, was like, hey, there's a farm down the street. Let's go down to that farm. We'll go walk around. Well, the first day I went out, I dug 43 flat buttons.
What a day.
Yeah, just
oh my goodness.
I dug a pair of Colonial Lynx buttons with a Tudor rose on them, silver, just all kinds of stuff.
Holy smoke.
And I was like, oh, this is cool. So I went back a week later and I stepped into a back field and I walked right into an undug Confederate camp. No one knows where it's at. No one had ever been in it. I dug 5 Virginia buttons in a Confederate line day.
Oh my goodness.
And it was
that sets the bar high. Holy smokes.
Yeah, man.
I just didn't know.
Yeah. You don't have any baseline. Yeah.
But you know why I did so well? It's because I had no preconceived notions of where to go or what to look for.
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing that we do as people who have experience. They're like, oh, no, we can't go hunt over there. We got to go look over here. Because we have these ideas that this place is better for some reason. And we mentally discriminate out that spot when it should have been looked at.
That is absolutely true.
Yeah, you have to have that open mind, and it kind of like digging every tone. You have to no place should be non-detect. You know, either the most pounded spot you've ever seen, where you've seen detectors there, or a spot that you just don't think may be built in 1985, but you don't know what's underneath. You know, and you can't judge a book by its cover until you actually get on the ground and see what's in there.
Almost like, you know, if you've seen a spot and you were attracted to that spot, chances are somebody else had already been attracted to that spot. Like whoever lost whatever you may find, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, if you were like, oh man, I'm going to go metal detect over here, probably because it looked good. Like somebody probably may have been there at one point, or you are attracted to it. Somebody else was probably too. I don't know.
Yeah. I always pretend I'm a colonial gentleman strolling a field and wearing knickerbockers and whatnot, and you know, just throwing coins, just handfuls. The Oprah of the colonial times, just throwing out coins and all that stuff. You know, yeah, no, a little early for knickerbockers, but yeah, you know.
Coin for you, coin for you.
Yeah, and you get a coin, and you get a gold coin, and you get a silver. And I mean, that's what I hope. I just one day when I walk that path of that person. Or the poor sucker who just got absolutely mugged and robbed, you know. One of the two. I'll take whatever I can get at that point. But yeah, no, you can't be. You got to be humble about every spot. Every permission you can get is is, you got to be grateful for it. You got to take it for what it is, hunt where you can, and and just keep asking for more permissions and hope. But I don't
I
know.
think some of the best things I found were in spots that I was like, meh, I don't think I'm going to find anything here. I think, honestly, some of the best stuff I have ever found were in those spots.
Yeah, I'd agree. Those surprises are make it that much better. But I would say also that it is awesome to get that justification of being like, I think this spot is going to be good in general, and then finding a bunch of good stuff that you're like, yes, I was on it. My colonial brain is in tune with the past. But Matt, you've been doing, talking about the adventure stuff in general, right? And I think what you were kind of talking about is what a lot of us as, growing up, we're just like, yeah, that's what I want to. I want to be an Indiana Jones type deal. I want to be someone who's finding new stuff, getting into a little bit of trouble, but like exploring places that people haven't been, or, all that stuff. And you've been going to some pretty cool places doing some exploration on that end. So what's that been like? I mean, the asylum that you're recently at, Halloween's around the corner. How's that been going?
That's been my big goal for this year. As long as my wife will allow me to get out and travel. Become really good friends with Brandon from Adventure Archaeology.
Yeah.
Fantastic YouTube channel. Digs a lot of bottles, does a lot of cool stuff, creek walks, magnet fishes. But we had made a plan. I told him I was going to come to Alabama sometime this summer. So do you know the best weather to stay away from Alabama? That's August.
Really?
That's exactly when I went. Yeah. About 170 degrees, and you walked outside and your eyeballs started sweating.
Just balmy. Yeah, you can. That's southern humidity.
Yeah. So we've been, we went down to Alabama, got to do some bottle digs. Got to walk through that crazy exploring mental asylum from the 1920s. We didn't even get to go to the craziest place I wanted to go. So there's this place very close to where he lives. What is that place called? Something Memorial Grounds.
Okay.
And it was an underground crypt. And the guy left with bodies just laying everywhere in there.
What?
And they just found it like 5 or 6 years ago.
Oh man.
There's open caskets. There's stains where bodies were decomposing, where people just the dude just left. And we tried to go there, but it was that place was super scary.
Yeah.
Super
yeah.
scary.
Oh man. I mean, I don't care how superstitious you aren't that, you get that eerie feeling, get the goosebumps, it's but that's awesome, man. That looked like a blast. I mean, now, yeah, putting it in perspective with that kind of heat, I don't know, I could have filmed anything. I would have just been just drenched the entire time in sweat, but yeah. So was that mental asylum, was that the spookiest place? Obviously didn't get to go to the crypt, but was the mental asylum one of the spookiest places you've been to, or where else would you say?
It's like I kind of hold the same. I mean, some of the spookiest places I've ever been are Civil War battlefields, but
True. Haunting in general, yeah.
Yeah, but this was creepy. Because of the total destruction of that place.
Yeah.
It had been on fire. It was just super, super weird. But I mean, I couldn't imagine going to that place in
the dark.
In the dark, yeah, no way.
No way.
And it's sad too. You got to think if you were intellectually disabled, where you had a behavioral disorder in the 1920s, they legit just thought you were crazy.
The depraved
treated
outlook
the worst
on,
of the worst.
Yeah, mental
and
health.
think of the stuff they used to do them back then too, man, like electroshock treatments and all that crazy stuff.
I mean, lobotomies as a whole, if you think about that, it's sad that back to so many people who were mistreated, under the guise of health and of medicine, and it's terrible.
Did you feel anything weird when you're in there, Matt?
What's that?
You feel anything weird when you were in there?
Yeah, there was some really
Like
weird
emotion stuff.
bottom that I just didn't feel good about being in.
Yeah.
I bet.
And in that video, you can still see the mattresses laying on the ground.
Yeah.
Like this was one huge open common area.
Oh.
It was pretty wild. So
Yeah, that's a lot of emotion over God knows how many years, from the 20s on, and just all sitting in that spot.
When did they shut that place down? Do you know? Do you know the history on that? Or
I don't. I do know that I think it was sometime in the 50s, and then they built a nursing home beside it, like a modern nursing home that was since abandoned.
probably because
But
this place was
it was
haunted.
still like in that era of we're gonna go put you away.
That's crazy.
Man.
And you said it in your video too. It's like most people who went there ended up dying there, right? And that's whether it be a young person, an old person, or anywhere in between. And I'm sure depending on what was going on, there was some realization. Some people who probably were misdiagnosed and sent there, and that realization of this is it. This is where it's gonna end ultimately, and it's impactful, man. That's deep, like not crazy like that, but it's
crazy. You're right.
It's wild, man. It really is.
Yeah, it's so much more in depth than just walking around in an abandoned place.
Right.
You know?
And I think it takes, people like in our hobby who have that kind of appreciation for history, to be able to really soak in the magnitude of it, But so for a lot of the spots you're going, the abandoned spots, what's your thought process with that? Are you just trying to find new cool places, or you have a list of spots you want to go to, or what's that about?
Those are kind of just places that come to me as something I find interesting.
Yeah.
And I think like the adventure of that is like if you look right there, it said there's a graffiti in there. It says, "I'm the ghost of the person I used to be."
I saw that in the video. That was crazy.
Super crazy.
Man.
Way worse than that other graffiti up there. But just things that I find interesting that I want to share. But it's I don't really have any places that I want to seek out right now.
Right.
I do have a few spots I'd like to document, but so it's just one of those things, And I think honestly, part of traveling and adventuring is to get off the interstate, get off the beaten path, and go and explore something that's local that really connects you to the place you were. And this is kind of one of those things.
Yeah, I agree with you 110%. It's so easy to drive along a freeway on whether it be a 3-hour drive, a 1-hour drive, a 7-hour drive, and there's some pretty cool stuff you can see driving across our country, but the stuff that you miss is that much more important, and it's got so much more depth to it, and the true like quintessential American history behind it, whether it be from the late 1900s, early whenever it is, it's still part of us as a country and how we've developed. So I try and take the path a little bit, to get off the beaten path more so than not, but still it's something that we take for granted. Again, just gotta look a little deeper, peel back a couple layers, right, and see what's going on.
So is this on public land, or what is this, private property, or do you know?
This is I think it's a state owned piece of property still. I was with Brandon, so as far as like I had Brandon as my tour guide, so that I guess that's kind of how I'll leave it,
Yeah.
So I don't.
You're in the hands of a professional, and you go with it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it'd been trespassed a lot, and or if it was trespassed, or I don't know. I don't have any clue.
Check out those stairs. That's crazy.
Super, super creepy place.
I mean, I don't know if I definitely wouldn't go in there at night, and I don't give a crap.
Right.
Like it's just not happening, dude. I'm not scared much, but man, I ain't trying to be somewhere that's creepy as hell at night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I was saying, just that energy that must just exist.
Oh, dude, that energy in that place must be insane at night.
And the same thing with the Civil War sites. Have you ever hunted a Civil War site at night, Matt?
Yeah, the one field.
Okay.
So
Oh yeah, you said it.
I do have. So this is like,
Creepy story.
yeah, this is kind of creepy. So I have a place that I hunt, and I hunt it regularly, and I'm always a little nervous when I go and metal detect there, because I look for trench lines that are hidden in a field,
Mhm.
and the thing about it is there's been about 50 field burials found in this area.
Wow.
So it's not a question of if I find a field burial, it's a question of when.
Yeah.
And that's pretty unnerving. I don't know
Yeah.
how I'll handle myself when that happens. Um, Obviously, most of those remains were hastily buried, but
Shallow grave then,
it's
too.
pretty tough. I know of a gentleman who's found 4 soldiers, and they were
Wow.
laid head to head, kind of like that, and then their jackets were laid over their faces, and then the trench line was pulled in over top of them.
Wow.
So
Now,
you have
the
to-
people
you
who are
have to-
finding these, like that guy, is that with a pulse induction machine, or is that a?
No, that was in the a little older days where they were using Nautiluses and VLF machines.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay.
You
And they're
have
just
to-
that
you-
shallow at that point.
You have to like report those, I guess. I
Yeah,
imagine.
what's the
I
protocol?
mean, back then
Um,
maybe not so much, but I think nowadays most definitely.
No,
right?
you would have to report that, I would guess. That's human remains, man.
So it is, but this particular farm, because there are so many field burials, the landowner has specifically said, treat the remains with respect, cover them back up, and don't say anything.
I know where I'm
Wow.
hiding.
You
my
said
first
don't
dead body.
don't say anything.
And I agree, because
He probably doesn't want everybody there.
well,
That's what happened.
one, it
He don't want the
triggers a
state to take his
massive
damn property.
investigation by local
Yeah.
police. 2, it triggers a large scale archaeological dig on that area.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then 3, his point of view is like my point of view. And those gentlemen were buried by their comrades, by their companions at the time of their death. That's as noble a burial as anybody could ever hope to get.
A warrior's burial. Yeah.
So why disturb that?
Right.
I agree. I agree.
You know, we hold this notion that you should have a casket and we should play taps and you should have this massive elaborate funeral for whatever reason it is. But those fellas that were laid in that trench line, they were laid by the men that they fought beside, and that was that. If I was
That's
to fight in the
honor.
American Civil War, that would be the best burial I think I could ever hope for.
That's definitely honorable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the scary part is they're probably teenagers.
Yep. Yeah, and one of the young boys he was actually a cadet. He had a cadet buttons on him.
Kind of what I figured.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't take none of that
Yeah.
stuff. You put that, you just
No,
cover that
no.
person back up and go. You know, that's.
So, I mean, that's probably a little deeper than you know most things.
No, absolutely. Oh man. But it's a reality, you know, especially down by where you guys are, you know.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, that's something that honestly hasn't really crossed my mind too much up here, you know. And we don't have those major battle sites, and the ones that we do, revolutionary stuff is pretty off limits at this point in time. So, you know, but I mean, it just kind of goes to show, again, you never know what's that could have been in the front yard of like a townhouse community for all you know at this point. You never know what's under the earth at that.
Or
That
it could
actually
be in a
happened in
colonial- I
Richfield.
mean, you guys can run across it in the middle of a colonial farm field.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
people were buried in different fashions in different places. So I just want to say shout out to, since we're talking about that video and the asylum, to Brandon from Adventure Archaeology. He's here hanging out in the chat.
There we go. What's going on, man? We
What's
got a lot
up,
of people
Brandon?
yeah, popping off right now. We got Charlie, Paul, Liz, Ezra. I mean, we got a lot of CJ's in there. We got, and of course, Nancy. Dang, yeah, the crowd's all here. What's up, everyone? I haven't been doing as good of a job as Trey is consistently checking the chat, so I apologize. But
Getting back to that conversation, we just had something happen like that in Richfield, Connecticut. Actually, the Battle of Richfield. The guy was putting an addition on his house, and they dug up 2 British soldiers.
wow.
So they called them in. They flew over. They confiscated the remains and did all kind of DNA, and actually flew them back and buried them over there.
Wow.
That's wild. It's like, all right, what? Obviously, you still want to put an addition on your house, but that makes you think.
Oh, it was locked down for months. It was like 8 months before he could continue building again.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's.
So I can understand why this guy doesn't want to be publicized, because the same stuff would happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's pretty. I mean, it's very commonplace, and it's not intentional. The guys who are going out there and metal detecting aren't looking for these sites, but it's just it's inevitable. Really,
It's reality. Actually, it's reality where you're at.
and I think it's a reality for a lot more metal detecting, of the metal detecting community than we think.
Yeah.
I think about like a lot of the people up north in the fur trading sites, or out west in the the American West that are metal detecting for coins and stuff. But who's to say you don't run across Native American remains, or a fur trading camp, or a fur trading burial, or
Gold miner
settler crossing the plains. So,
Yeah. And you do see it, and I you don't think about it as much, but you do see the videos out there of human remains found, or in magnet fishing, people find stuff like that too, and it is something that we have to take.
Yeah, but think about it, though. Way back then, there was really nothing. I mean, it was just them. Somebody passed away, you just dug a hole and put a cross there.
Right.
Yep.
No, it's
Could be anywhere.
Yeah, it really can. I'm surprised, and I'm sure. Listen, I get that. Again, it's not something to publicize, and people probably keep it a little bit more down low at that point, rightfully so, to be respectful. But yeah, I don't know.
But no, but it's something that needs to be talked about, and just
Absolutely.
because it's taboo or it's a little off on the edge. I mean, what's the reality of a lot of this stuff? I mean, so I had a friend 3 years ago. He was he was looking for a Civil War site, and he walked through a ravine, walked through a homeless camp. He was like, "Man, it's Halloween. Look at that skeleton." And it was human remains. It was a skeleton.
Wow.
It was skeletal remains of a woman who had disappeared in like 6 or 8 months prior.
Wow.
And he said he went over and picked up the skull, and he was like, "That's real," and he set it right down.
Oh my God.
So it's not. I mean, we can talk about modern. We can talk about hundreds of years ago, like Diggin Science. That's another great YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Fossil hunts. He recently found a Native American skull in a creek in North Carolina. So it's not uncommon. So let's not,
Yeah, you got to take it for what it is, and that's the thing, and you got to make sure, obviously we're all out there looking for treasure, and we're looking for relics and stuff like that, but ultimately you have to make sure everyone is paying respect to human remains, right? And
Yep, absolutely.
is respecting that, and doing the right thing, right? Whether it be a British soldier in your yard that you're putting in a house, or something you find in a ravine from 6-8 months ago, right? You never know, and we're out in these places that are relatively remote, where if it's no one's gonna go over there. So
Matt, PA Pirate Paul is like blowing my phone up. He said, "Ask Matt if he would go to Penhurst Asian Asylum near me and Charlie."
Yeah, absolutely. I'd go.
There you go, Paul.
PA
There's your answer,
Adventures. PA Adventures will go to the asylum there, Penhurst Asylum. Charlie said it was one of the most haunted places in America. So
What?
Paul said
That's
that,
awesome.
so-
Maybe we should all go one night, man.
right? Not one day. One day.
night, buddy.
Definitely go at night. Joe, that's a great idea.
Right.
I'll tell you what.
I'll
I'll go with you guys if you want to go at dusk.
There,
I'll
I like
definitely
that.
go.
I like that. That's a truly nice little unsettling time to go. You never
I'm not afraid of much. Let's go.
right? I think that would be cool. Paul will feel at home, Charlie says. You know what? Me too. But I think that'd be cool, man. And that's the kind of stuff that, again, I'd love to see more of that come out from your channel. And I'd like, plays to what we all wanted to do when we were kids and adventure, and that's that true fun-loving spirit that we all try and chase through these hobbies ultimately, right? And then
Yeah, absolutely. So my adventuring doesn't just stop with abandoned stuff.
right.
Talking about adventures in dark places. I just got back from 5 days in South Carolina, shark's tooth hunting and scuba diving. And here is I'll give you guys a little preview.
I am one of those monsters. Yeah.
Megalodon.
Yeah. That is a Megalodon tooth. That's super huge, but just a quality tooth.
Yeah.
So.
And it seems like you guys did pretty well over that trip, right? You posted something about that recently. Was that the trip? And you're like, oh, we found even more.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's a monster. So that's an Angus Died, and that's a great grandfather of the Megalodon. And that's about as big as the shark gets or got.
What's the giveaway to say that that's the Megalodon?
These right here, these little cusp.
Okay.
Megalodon tooth doesn't have cusp. Nice and smooth here.
Right. So it's been
you got those little cusp.
Evolved away there, huh?
Yeah.
That's pretty.
And this is a juvenile Meg. That's probably only a 30-foot shark.
Wow.
And that's a 30-foot Angus Died. I mean, monster.
Yeah, that's insane, man. So, and you've done that. You've done plenty of shark tooth diving before, right? Or this is a newer hobby for a newer venture into this aspect of things, or what?
So the Low Country of South Carolina is loaded full of colonial relics, Native American history, and then they call it a nursery where these sharks went, had their young, and then they died. They ate all kinds of stuff there. They lost teeth. That's probably the best quality tooth I found while I was there.
That's
awesome, man.
Yeah, we had Daisy and Matt on from Modern Goonie and Discovery Diva, and they were kind of telling us that, and I didn't know this, that the whole Carolinas down to Georgia was the biggest megalodon like nursery breeding area on the planet at that time.
Yep. Yeah. So that's why there's so many there. But yeah, we just came back from down there, diving in the water, looking for. We found some colonial pipe stems. I mean, colonial pipes like that long.
Gandalf stuff going on.
Yeah, really crazy stuff. Just stuff you can't find on land. Just overall, man, it was a great time. That was an adventure in itself.
I guess.
Yeah. So what's next on the agenda?
There's not much left. No.
Right? What do you got?
So I will tell you my next bucket list adventure is Alaska.
Okay.
2 weeks in Alaska, 2021, maybe 2022. There's the AKU Gold Camp in Alaska.
Okay.
My goal is to rent the entire camp out, 20 spots, meals, everything. Bring all my friends. You guys want to come?
Hell yeah.
Let's go find some gold nuggets. Let's catch some king salmon.
Right. That's a double whammy right there. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, don't forget about us when that comes around, because that's a trip of a lifetime.
When's the best time to go? Summer?
Yeah, it's like August, September, like beginning of September probably is the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's still mosquito season year round up there, but that's just going to be a good time to go.
But isn't that, well, I mean, that's about the time when their days are really long, right? There in Alaska?
Yeah, really long days too.
Yeah, like
for sure.
at that time of year, like, because I know during the winter they go like 3 or 4 days without like real sunlight.
I think it's mid-June, like June, like what's the summer solstice?
I think it's June. I think you're right. I think it's mid-June.
Yeah, so that's June, and then so your summer solstice, that's the longest day of the year. That's like 23 hours of light.
Dang.
By August, it's like 18 hours.
Yeah, that's
Still
a lot
pretty
of
solid.
light.
Yeah, that's too much time to go detecting. I'll tell you that.
If I had wake up in the middle of the night and go digging,
right?
It's not the same though. Digging up there is not the same. These guys gotta, they really gotta worry about, grizzly bears and that the wildlife up there will kill you.
That's what I'm talking
You
about.
cannot wear, you can't wear headphones.
on the hip.
There's no headphones digging up there. You go and you carry a weapon. It's different. It's a whole different world of digging up there.
Most dangerous game. I'm talking about walking outside and getting mauled by a bear.
30-30, buddy, on your yellow twine. Always.
Yeah, right. Just a brush gun like that, 45-70 even take. That'll
I was there for 2 weeks.
back ride a horse like that'd be so cool.
Place is unbelievable.
You want to? So this is something really cool about Alaska. I found out about it a couple of years ago. Have you guys ever heard of the Nenana Ice Classic in Alaska?
No.
Okay, so it's pretty unique. And if there's any, and listen, I know a lot of people like to do those lottery giveaways on Facebook and stuff. So if you're the gambling type, it's this thing that's been going on since 1917, and they put this. It's basically like a giant flag tip up or whatever. And it freezes into the.
Oh, I do know about this.
Yeah, and then everyone places bets from around the world. You can put in your bets on the exact day and time that it's going to melt. Yeah, and second, it's down to the second on when it melts and the thing like falls into the water or like flips up or whatever it is from the ice melting. And it's been going on now for over 100 years. And I haven't placed any bets yet, but there's like some serious strategy to it. And you can look at, they've recorded the day and time and the temperature of everything over since 1917 of the conditions. So you've got some pretty good historical data to work off of. And it's one of the neatest, most Alaska things I've ever heard of in my entire life.
Let's do it. I'll do it.
I'm in. I think that'd be fun.
I'll put $10 down.
Right.
If I win, we're going to Alaska next year.
There we go. Right. And then we'll go for the inaugural situation of it and get it going. But no, that'd be awesome. I think that's so cool. Just, like chicken poop bingo. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that.
Yeah, I've heard of that too.
Mark the Bird
chicken
Hunter
poop
said in the
bingo?
comments in 2024, Matt, it was going to detect the moon.
Yep, moon rocks. I'm just going to mail home moon rocks.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Some say the moon is made of cheese. I believe it's actually gold underneath, and you just need a good machine to dig it all up.
I'd take meteorites.
Right. I mean,
That's right.
space rocks, man.
That's
Yeah.
a thing too.
They
Know,
sell.
searching for meteorites is a thing too.
Yeah.
That just reminds me
Yeah.
of Joe Dirt. That's a Boeing bomb.
They do that in Arizona, I believe, or New Mexico or something like that, don't they?
Yes, out in the deserts.
Yeah, you should see where all of them.
And you could get some like big money for meteorites.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
They're not cheap.
That's what I hear.
Yep. Paul said I could wear my eagle costume.
Yeah, what's that about?
That's a costume for another day, Paul. Trust me, that's coming out on a video.
There we go. Okay.
So
And if a costume's coming, it's got to be a serious video at that point, right?
no, it won't be serious. So a few years ago, we were digging in Virginia. We were pretty much everybody in the field was having a pretty rough day, and we got one of those big blow up dinosaur costumes,
Yeah.
and walked around the field and looked for signals. My buddy Jamie was in the costume, but then because he had the short arms, he couldn't dig any of the signals. Absolutely hilarious.
That's great. Oh my goodness. Dang. Yeah. Wow. I'm gonna have to get my own detecting costume.
Yeah, you got to do it, man.
Full colonial garb has to be next. I think I need a full.
So, all right. So, all right, I'll tell you this. This is a lifelong dream of mine.
Mhm.
No, you're going to think I'm crazy, but you're talking about colonial garb.
Yeah.
So in Virginia, we have Colonial Williamsburg, which was supposed to be the capital of the United States, but it didn't work out that way. But in Colonial Williamsburg, there's a large section of original Williamsburg that they have period actors that wear colonial period costumes, all of that stuff, a huge tourist attraction.
Yep.
So my dream bucket list goal is to go out and rent a full period colonial getup. Then go to the pub and get about 3/4 sloshed.
Yeah.
And walk around town with a beer wearing colonial garb, heckling all the tourists.
Gotta ring a bell.
All right, let me know. I am 100% down for that. You don't have to twist my arm. I mean, you have me getting half sloshed, but I'll do whatever. No, that sounds like a blast, man.
Yeah, it sounds like a fun time. They're not going to know who you are.
Right.
We're probably going to be found out now because as much as I've talked about wanting to do this, it's just not going to be good. Imagine spending an afternoon in a drunk tank, wearing knee buckles and shoe buckles.
Price to pay for memories, right? I mean,
Yeah, that what is that mugshot will be a great one, man.
right?
So great, man.
Right? Oh
Like
my
a
god,
nice top hat.
that would be so cool. Oh my goodness. Start dumping
So-
tea into the harbor or whatever you can do, right? Just
Yeah, I'm gonna put somebody in the stocks. They have the stocks
yeah.
out there, and then we'll just have like some other people just throw tomatoes and lettuce and stuff at them.
that'd be so
So
Yeah.
We'll
like,
put Trey in the stock.
right, exactly. No, that would be a blast though. I'm with you on that, man. That sounds, and just no one would have any clue, and you'd just be the real drunk colonial reenactment, not paid person.
no one would ever know.
Not
and
paid.
Somebody said, just dress like King George. Somebody has to dress like King George.
Someone dresses KG2, someone else dresses KG3, but they have to stare the opposite way each time, just like the buses, right?
That's awesome.
They can't be caught facing
That's
each
a
other.
great Halloween idea.
Oh man, dang.
That's funny.
Well, yeah, we hit an hour already, and I mean, obviously, like we say every week, that cruised by. But you know what? We got Trey out of the way and got some real hard-hitting topics to discuss finally. So I think that was a blast, right? So Matt, thanks again for coming on. Everyone in the chat, thank you all weekly. We all appreciate you guys hopping in and chatting with us.
Absolutely.
You know, we'll be on next week, rocking and rolling, and until then, we'll catch you guys later.
Peace.
Yeah.
Bye.
Later, everybody.